Hey everyone, and welcome to my guide on the Protection Warrior in patch 4.0.6. In this guide we'll be going over the talents, some of the items you should be using while tanking that may help your healers out, and also other things that will help out, such as your rotation, itemization, and what gems you should be putting in what slots. I'll also be posting up a list of some items that you should acquire before you step into raids. These are going to be the best heroic gear you can acquire. At the moment, I'll be going over the talents you should be picking as a protection warrior. Some of the talents are not necessary and are just fillers, so feel free to place them wherever you want. I'm just going to be going over the most crucial. I'll be posting a talent tree down in the drop box, and you can check that out if you want to. So first of all, you're gonna want to pick protection, of course. You're gonna go with toughness. Just to increase your armor. That's a no-brainer for tanks. Blood and Thunder. You're going to apply Rend to one target, Thunderclap, and it's going to apply it to every target. So it's definitely needed if you're going to be AoE tanking. I mean, you can vary your spec however you want, depending on single target or AoE, but I'm just going to be going over a multi-talent build. So you're also going to want to pick 3 out of 3 in Shield Mastery to reduce your cooldown of Shield Block and reduce the cooldown of your Shield Wall and your Spell Reflect. They're all very helpful. Shield Block is in fact one of the spells you'll be using all the time when it's off cooldown, so you're definitely going to need to reduce the cooldown of it. Hold the Line. Improves the critical strike and the critical block chance by 10% for 10 seconds following a successful parry. So no brainer, and it's why you pick parry over dodge. Gag Order. Now you don't really need this, but especially if your guild is going to want you to interrupt, it's very helpful. You use Shield Bash and it interrupts. At the moment, because you're not going to be getting hit capped unless you're an extremely geared tank doing hard modes on farm. This isn't really necessary, and you should be having someone else interrupting. I've picked it just for heroic dungeons. Next, you're going to go with Last Stand. If you pick Last Stand, it's going to give you a 30% maximum health for 20 seconds, so it's just, it's a no-brainer. It's one of your main cooldowns that you're going to be using. Concussion Blow. Stuns the opponent for 5 seconds and deals 4,688 damage. You only really need this to get Vigilance, which I'll go over after. Bastion of Defense. This is needed. Reduces the chance you'll be critically hit by melee attacks by 6% while in defensive stance. In addition, when you block, dodge, or parry an attack, you have a 20% chance to become enraged, increasing physical damage done by 10% for 12 seconds. Warbringer. This is your charge, intercept, and intervene are now usable while in combat and in any stance. This is needed. Charge and intervene are very helpful. They increases your mobility. Improved Revenge increases the damage of your revenge ability by 60% and causes Revenge to strike an additional target. You're going to need this. Revenge is one of your main spells after Shield Slam and before Devastate. Devastate. Sunder the target's armor, causing the Sunder armor effect. In addition, causes 150% weapon damage plus 336 for each application of Sunder armor on the target. This is your filler spell while your Shield Slam and Devastator on cooldown, and Rend is applied to your target. Impending Victory. This is not needed. You can pick it if you really wish to, but yeah, you're not going to be using it for tanking raids. Thunderstruck. increases the damage of Rend, Cleave, Thunderclap by 6%. This is your main AoE talent. Pick this. Vigilance. Focus your protective gaze on a party or raid member. Each time they hit by an attack, your taunt cooldown is refreshed and you gain vengeance as if 20% of damage was done to you. Vengeance is a passive ability. It gives you attack power for when you're hit. If you have vigilance on the other tank, you'll end up stacking a lot of attack power. It also refreshes your taunt, so I recommend having this on the other tank at all times. Heavy repercussions. While your shield block is active, your shield slam hits for an additional 100% damage. No brainer. Sword and Board increases the critical strike chance of Devastate by 15%. In addition, when your Devastate or Revenge deal damage, they have a 30% chance of refreshing the cooldown for your shield slam and reducing its cost by 100% for 5 seconds. Get this. It's needed. Shockwave is your main AoE tanking ability. Once you rush in, Rend, Thunderclap, you backpedal a bit, get them in a cone, and just hit them with Shockwave. It stuns them. It's perfect. I love it. Nextly, you can go with Blood Craze. After taking any damage, you have a 10% chance to regenerate 3.5% of your total health over 5 seconds. Helps with your healer's mana. Get it. Field Dressing increases all healing received by 6% and the effectiveness of your self-healing abilities by an additional 20%. Get this. In AoE tanking, you're going to be getting killing blows. Therefore, you get to use your Victory Rush. Saves mana. Also, increasing your healing received definitely increases your survivability, and it helps with your healer's mana. Mana is a real issue at the moment, and any healing that you can do really helps them out. Next, we're going to be going to Rotation. Basically, to explain that, you're going to be charging in. You're going to use Shield Slam over Revenge, over Rend, over Devastate. When you need to refresh Rend, use Thunderclap as it applies a debuff to the boss, reducing their attack time, casting and attack speed by 20%. Use Heroic Strike when you're over 75% rage, and that is your single target rotation. Next, I'm going to be going over the multiple target rotation. So it'll look something like this. Alright, so as you can see, you're going to be charging into a pack of mobs, Rend, Thunderclap, backpedal a bit, then you're going to Shockwave, then your the priority is going to be Thunderclap over Revenge, over Cleave, and that should get you all the sufficient threat you need and refresh your Rend whenever it needs be. Next, I'm going to be going over the going to be going over the itemization, what you should be reforging, what you should be looking for, and yeah. Alright, so your itemization should look a little bit like that. If you're going to be if you have any expertise on your gear, do not reforge it off. Expertise is a helpful stat for tanks. You're not necessarily looking to get capped, but you're not necessarily looking to reforge out of it either. So, as it looks, Mastery still isn't a really big stacking stat. You're going to need to have like an equal level of parry and dodge, but Mastery is extremely helpful, so get it wherever you can. If you've already got Mastery on your gear, reforge some of the dodge or parry you may have on the gear to the other. Say you've got Mastery and dodge, reforge the dodge to parry, parry to dodge. It just evens it out. if your gear has expertise and an avoidance stat, reforge that avoidance stat to something you may need. Say if you're low on block, then you're going to go with that. If you're low on dodge, you're going to go with that. As you can see, I'm not that even with my stats, but they're still at a pretty good level at the moment. As you can see, I haven't reforged any of my expertise off my gear, and I'm at 15 expertise. Hopefully, when I get a bit more gear, I will be expertise capped or very near it. Next, we're going to be going over some items you can use while tanking. Okay, so as you can see in my inventory, there are some items you can use for tanking. I strongly recommend using these in heroics, as they do help your healer. If you have a new healer or a very skilled healer, still use them, they do help. You've got the Crocalist or Grayton. It'll give you 90 expertise and 90 stam for 1 hour, though it does not last when you die. That is one of the threat consumables. There are also 90 hit and 90 strength consumables, but I'm not going to be going into them, as expertise is the only really threat stat we do need besides strength. Lava Scale Minestrone, it'll give you 90 mastery and 90 stam. This is the food that I do use when I raid. I also use a flask, but yeah. You've got the Mushroom Sauce Swordfish, that gives you 90 dodge and 90 stam, though I don't have any on me at the moment. There's also the Black Belly Sushi, which gives you 90 parry and 90 stam. So you can pick for any of these that you are lacking in, and they will help you out. The flask you're going to be using is the Flask of Sealsin, which gives you 300 stam for an hour. I only have one, as my guild usually provides them. But yeah, that is pretty much it, and sums up my guide. Also, there is one other thing I should include, is there are some buyable gear that would really help you out when you start out. I don't recommend buying the Bastion of Twilight epics, as they're probably going to be really expensive, as they are on every server. They're pretty expensive on mine. Once you get to about 346 eye level, you can post and try and get into a Bastion of Twilight trash run. You can get some good loot from there, such as Soul Blade, Heaving Plates of Protection, etc. So yeah, I recommend that if you can. But if you can't, it doesn't really matter. You should get them when you raid. Right, so there's the Harbark, Hardened Elementium Harbark, which you can buy. It's a 359 crafted by blacksmithing. The mats should probably cost you 6 or 7k depending on your server, and just try and get a guildie to make it or something. Most people will charge about, I think it has about 4k or so about 2k to make it, which is really pricey. You've got the Hardened Elementium Girdle, which is 2 Chaos Orbs, 3 True Gold, and I can't remember the other mat, but it will probably be about 3 or 4k on your server. I think it is pretty much on every other server. And you've also got the Elementium Earthguard, which can be crafted. It's 359, it's an epic, it's the best pre-heroic shield. So yeah, some of the slots you can fill with the Bastion of Twilight trash gear is the gun slot. I don't have that at the moment. The shoulder slot, which I got last week, and the sword slot, which I haven't got a new one from. This is from my Single-Minded Fury set for my off-spec. And then there is rep gear, which you can get. There's the Sandguard braces from Ramkahan, Exalted. There's the Griffin Rider's boots from Wildhammer Clan, Exalted. There is also another set of boots that have a different name for the Horde side of the Twilight Highlands rep. And that is pretty much all the rep gear you can get, besides your helm, which you can get Revered from Wildhammer Clan, obviously the same as Twilight Highlands, rep for Horde. Then there is a Dark Moon card, Earthquake, which I recommend getting. It provides you with avoidance stats and has a Battle Master cooldown. This will conclude my guide, guys. Happy tanking and enjoy yourselves. Thanks.